Om Shanti. Good morning. Good morning. Today, Baba is giving us such feeling of how intoxicated he is to come and teach us, how we have been long lost and now found. The question is, how do we feel about Baba coming to teach us? Are we so intoxicated? He has found us. And how can we relate to this intoxication, this deep spiritual intoxication, and connect it to our zeal and enthusiasm to follow what he's saying, to do service, to become, and to go back home with him, to go to the golden age, to get a high status. So this intoxication is like a life-giving herb for us. So let's listen to Baba's sweet versions with great intoxication. God himself has come to teach us. Today's Murli is the 9th of February, 2022. In the essence, Baba says, sweet children, to make unhappy souls happy is the duty of the one Father alone. He alone is the bestower of salvation for all. Two questions today. First question, what method to go into the stage of ascending does the Father teach you children? Answer, Baba says, sweet children, only listen to the things I tell you. Forget everything else you have heard, because through them you have continued to come down. Second question, which deep secret in which the essence of all the Vedas and scriptures is merged do you children understand? Answer, how Brahma becomes Vishnu and Vishnu becomes Brahma, and how they emerge from the navel of one another is a deep secret that only you children understand. This is the essence of all the Vedas and scriptures. Song of Baba's Murli, show the path to the blind, dear God. Om Shanti. You sweetest, extremely beloved, long lost and now found children, understand the meaning of this. In fact, the Father definitely loves the children of the whole world. You children know that all human beings are the children of the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul. This is God's family. In a family, the greatest love is for the Father who created the children. The unlimited Father says, sweetest, lovely, long lost and now found children, you have come and met me again after 5,000 years. When do you meet him? At the conference age, when the Father comes and takes all of you children from peacelessness into peace. People have so many conferences, etc., for peace. They meet one another to stop all the battling in the world and to discuss how can there be peace. Otherwise, they would fight one another and bring about destruction. They are afraid of destruction. They have forgotten that the Father himself comes and establishes the land of happiness and the original eternal deity religion once again. This is taking place now. You are all sitting here. Why are we sitting here with Baba? To claim your inheritance of unlimited happiness from the unlimited Father. You know that the Supreme Father, the Supreme Soul, comes and inspires the destruction of the devilish world. Destruction definitely has to take place because everyone is unhappy at this time. It is the Father's duty every cycle to make all those who are unhappy happy. How will those who are unhappy and impure themselves make others pure and happy? That too is a question of the whole world. They sing that the bestow of salvation for all is only one. O Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, come and purify us impure ones. People of all religions know that there was the kingdom of gods and goddesses in Bharat. However, they didn't exist at that time. Ancient Bharat is praised a great deal. God first of all created heaven. Who was the master of that? He created heaven. Who was the master of that? Interestingly, he said Bharat, because it is in Bharat that heaven is established. So today, in this context, he's saying, who was the master of that? Bharat. There were palaces of gold and diamonds in heaven. Bharat was very wealthy. Now, at the end of the Iron Age, there are innumerable religions, and the one deity religion has disappeared. They have become poverty-stricken and very unhappy. Now the Father says, this Brahmadada was a jeweler. This one is not saying it, but the incorporeal Father says through this body that this Brahma didn't know his own births. You Brahma Kumars and Kumaris did not know your own births either. By entering this one is also fixed in the drama. There can be no question about how this happens. The Father says, I don't have a body of my own. I come and enter an ordinary old body. I come in Bharat. This one doesn't know his own births. And I come and I explain them to him. This is in the predestined great unlimited drama. Every second that passes by repeats. Only the Father explains this secret of the unlimited drama. The Father says, children, all the donations you have made and the charity you have performed were on the path of devotion. There was no attainment through them because there is now no strength left in devotion. All of those pictures, etc., that have been made are said to be the worship of dons. You made images, fed them, and then sank them. All of that is senseless. When they create a sacrificial fire, they make one big Shivlingam and smaller salagrams of mud. They don't understand who it is they're worshipping. It is because the Father and the children have done service that they are worshipped. Excuse me. They make a lingam of Shiva. They even make salagrams of you children. You children are now truly serving Bharat to make it pure. You are God's helpers, and you have love for the Father. You follow the Father's Srimad, and this is why the Srimad Bhagavad Gita is remembered. God would not study a scripture. No founders of religions even take up their scripture. They come to establish their religion. They only relate the knowledge they have. It isn't that Christ came and read the Bible. No, he came to establish a religion. And of course, after he came and established his religion, the scripture, the Bible was written on the basis of his teachings. So it's not that he brought the Bible with him or he read the Bible. So the Bible says, no, he came to establish a religion. The Father comes and he gives you Srimad. Shri means elevated directions. The highest on high directions are those of God. You children are now following Srimad. The Father says, children, remember me. There are just these two words. He says, children, with a lot of love. And so he is the Father. And we are all members of God's family. Another very intoxicating point. This would not be in anyone's intellect. It wasn't even in this one's intellect, referring to Brahma Baba, of course. The Father now sits here and explains through this one. What he explains? I have to purify all of these human souls and take them back home. According to the drama, I have come once again to take you back. That Baba speaks to souls. This one's soul is also listening. Truly, Baba is giving us knowledge. He doesn't have a body of his own. The form of Shri Krishna would not be said to be ordinary. He was the first Prince of Heaven. All of those people then say, God Shri Krishna speaks. That cannot be possible. There is so much difference. Shri Krishna cannot exist at the confluence age. Many become artificial Krishnas, but the real one in the practical form would be in the golden age. Many people have the name Krishna, it's like artificial. But they only put the name Krishna for one who looks like Krishna, as you would realize. So Baba says, there cannot be anyone else with the name of Krishna. Many people have names such as Krishna. The Father says, children, become pure in this final birth, and help will be received in establishing the pure world. So the criteria to establish the pure world is definitely purity. It says, become pure in this final birth, and help will be received in establishing the pure world. Purity is good. Many daughters are beaten, and innocent ones are assaulted. They write, Baba, what can I do? Liberate me from this bondage. They show in a play how Draupadi was given saris to protect her. They have just made up a story, because we realize that everything is in the scriptures is written in a figure of speech, and so people take it literally. So the protection, they put a sari. Baba says they have just made up a story. Baba says, children, by becoming pure, you will not be stripped for 21 births. This is the whole significance of it. That is the kingdom of Rama. The main vice is impure arrogance, body consciousness. They have attachment to their bodies. They are all soul conscious in heaven. We're naturally soul conscious. They understand that they will shed their old bodies and take new ones. It is called soul consciousness. The Father says, all of you are souls. All of you are souls. Continue to remember Shiv Baba, because you now have to return home. This is the true spiritual pilgrimage of souls. Everyone has to go to the Supreme Father. When people go on pilgrimages, they chant the name of Rama along the way. The Father says, you continue to remember the Father. The whole world will not study Raja Yoga. Only those who came in the previous cycle will come here. The sapling is now being planted. The sweet tree of the deity religion has now disappeared. The twigs and branches remain. In brackets, the example of the banyan tree. In fact, the foundation of the deity religion is now decayed, and just the signs remain. And what are the signs of the deity religion? In brackets, images. However, no one knows who they are, nor do they know their own religion. This is why they call it the Hindu religion. The Father says, your Bharat was the greatest. It is said of religion, religion is might. The deity religion doesn't exist now. How can that religion now be established? The Father is the almighty authority, and you receive the inheritance from Him. You will also receive strength from Him. The Father is the seed of the world, and we are His family. The Father is the truth, the living being, and the ocean of knowledge. Everything is in the souls. It is souls who listen and study. Good and bad sanskars are in each soul. At this time, everyone's soul has become tamopradhan. The intellects of people of Bharat have become the most tamopradhan. The most elevated souls were also those of Bharat. They were the masters of heaven. This play is predestined, and everyone has received his own part. All souls are the same. There is no difference between them. It isn't that we souls are small and that Baba's soul is large. No. No soul is smaller or larger. This soul once again repeats the part of 84 births. There is no end to this. Each soul has to do what each soul has to do, especially at this time. Each soul has to do so much service. These imperishable parts are never going to be erased. Do scholars, pundits, and authorities of the scriptures know how such tiny souls have such big parts recorded in them? Even the Supreme Father, Supreme Soul, is bound by the drama. He is bound by it. He has to come at his accurate time to play his part. He has to play his own part. And what is his part today? As he said at the beginning, which is his duty. He has to play his own part of making everyone happy on time. Very interesting. To make everyone happy on time. Just think about what a soul is. Just think about what a soul is. The soul of Baba is also as tiny as a point. No one can worship something so tiny. In order to perform devotion, they make a big form to worship. That one is called Shiva or Rudra. He is just like a point. They apply a tilak. Here, these are matters that have to be understood. No one else can explain them. The Father sits here and explains these very subtle matters. The Father explains, children, look how tiny each soul is and how big the organs of bodies are. At this time, both the soul and the body of everyone are impure. You now have to become pure again. Become unadulterated. Only listen to the one. Only remember the one. Oh, Baba, you are performing great wonders. Look at the wonderful knowledge you give us. No one else has the power to give this knowledge. Only when the Father comes and teaches you does your ascending stage begin. At this time, all human beings are impure. And this is why the Father says, because all human beings are impure, what does he say? I come to uplift everyone. I show you the path to go from the night into the day. It is some show the path to the blind, dear God, which means that everyone says they are blind. Show us the path. The path to where? To your home. There is a lot of sorrow here. Baba, you are the stick for us blind ones. You remember your inheritance when you say Baba. There is no intoxication of the inheritance experience, when you say Prabhu or Ishwar. So Baba says, you remember your inheritance when you say Baba, and there is no intoxication of the inheritance experience when you say Ishwar, Prabhu or Ishwar. Who is the one called God? His praises, you are the mother and you are the father. People say that these Vedas are eternal, but ask them, when they started to study them, was it from the golden age? There are no scriptures there. This is the path of devotion. They don't know anything at all. The Father says, I now come and explain the essence of everything to you through Brahma. Is Brahma my child? Or did he emerge from the navel of Vishnu? Brahma is the child of Shiva. He is not a child of Vishnu. Yes, Brahma then becomes Vishnu. Vishnu then becomes Brahma after 84 births. This is a very deep secret that only you children understand. And because of this, hence they say in the path of devotion that he has emerged from the navel of Vishnu from each other, but not understanding how Brahma becomes Vishnu and Vishnu becomes Brahma. So Baba says, this is a very deep secret that only you children understand. You Brahmin children have now taken birth through the mouth of Brahma. And so you children should have so much intoxication and happiness. Acha, okay. To the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance, and good morning from the mother, the father, Bap Dada. The spiritual father says namaste to the spiritual children, and the spiritual children say namaste to the spiritual father. Essence for Dharma. Points to practice for today. First point. In order to become completely pure, become unadulterated. Only listen to the one Father. Only remember the one. Second point. Become a helper of God and serve to make Bharat pure. Make your intellect loving to the one Father. Baba's blessing for today. May you become a master Trikaldarshi and overcome all adverse situations with your original stage. Baba explains, the children who stabilize in their Trikaldarshi stage overcome all adverse situations with their original stage in such a way as though nothing happened. Knowledgeable and Trikaldarshi souls use every power, every point, and every virtue under their orders. It isn't that you order the power of tolerance to come when you need it, but it actually comes when your task is accomplished. Whatever power you need at any time and in whatever way you need it, it should do its work at that time. You would then be said to be a master of the treasures, a master Trikaldarshi. The slogan for today, very interesting slogan also, those who stay constantly happy and who share their happiness with others are true servants. Om Shanti.